Okay, so once you have set up your problem question, you need to write out your plan. Now this is all about how you're going to do your sampling. So you've got to think about how big your sample needs to be and what sampling method would be appropriate for your investigative question. You could do simple random sampling. That's probably the way that most of this will go. You list everything that's in your population, you assign it a number, you randomly generate numbers to pick out your sample. You could do stratified sampling, where within your sample you need a proportionally representative amount of the people in your sample that's similar to the population. So if you had 5% Maori people and 10% Asian people in your population, you don't want the same percentages represented in your sample. You could do cluster sampling, which is where you take an easily identifiable group from your population and you use them as your sample. It might be all the people in your sample that have blonde hair. All the people in your population that have blonde hair, they then become your sample. Now, for obvious reasons, that might not be representative of your overall population, so you probably want to stay away from that one. You can do systematic sampling, which is where you list everybody and you say take every 10th person on the list, which is all right as long as you know that there's no pattern in your list, and you could kind of unintentionally pick out some bias by doing that. You could do self-selected sampling. That's where people choose to be part of the sample, and again, that's quite obvious that you're likely to come out with some bias. People that are strongly motivated either positively or negatively would be part of the sampling process, but those who just aren't really bothered wouldn't choose to fill in a survey and give their data. You could also do person on the street, which is exactly what it sounds like. You stand on the street and you survey the people that are willing to stop and talk to you. Again, you'll probably come out with bias because of where you might be, what time you're sampling, the types of people that are willing to stop and answer your questions. You need to make sure that your sample is big enough, and for our comparative investigative question, you need to get at least 30 in each of your groups that you're comparing. 30 is our kind of magic number for samples. It's the smallest possible number. If you can go bigger than that, that's better. The bigger the sample, the better. Okay, so how to move that on from being just an achieved plan. You can justify why you chose that sampling method. Why did you pick simple random, or why did you pick stratified sampling? And give a reason for why it would be the best sampling method in this situation. And secondly, why that sample size? Why did you pick that many people to be in your sample?